Well, that's one way to do it. Hey, everyone. Welcome to Playground Sessions. I see some familiar faces in the chat. Some names, I should say. I wish I was seeing faces. And I'm also seeing some new names. What's going on, everyone? Welcome. Excuse me, maybe you already noticed, I kind of have the sniffles. I have a bit of a sinus cold today. And for that reason, we may try and keep this lesson a bit shorter than normal. But I'm really excited today to be checking in with you guys on your progress, specifically on the entertainer. And for those who started at the rookie level, you may already be about halfway through your entertainer experience. And I'd love to hear how that's going in the chat. Have you started the rookie one? Is this new for you this year? And how's it going? Any questions I can answer? All that good stuff. But today was special for the intermediate level players because we kicked off the intermediate level entertainer, the intermediate arrangement for you guys, all right? And this one's going to be a 2-week experience. So we should all be wrapping up together still by the end of the month, at least with the new lesson portion. And today was day 1 for intermediate. So what I specifically want to do is go over that stuff with you guys. And I even have it here. I'm getting better at running this thing by myself, by the way. It's just me tonight, in part because I am sick. But I will let everyone know, even though my whole family has sniffles, we did have tests taken, and the results were negative, so that's good. It's not the sickness. It's just a nose and throat cold. But anyways, I am excited to get into this, and I wanted to answer any questions you guys may have about day 1 today. Now, by the end of the series of lessons, here's where we got. We got through most of the right-hand notation here, right? We still left a bit blank here. And since you guys are here with me on YouTube Live, I'll give you a preview of what that is as well. But first, before we dive in, I want to check in on the chat. I want to say hey to, where was it? My new friend here. I liked the name when I saw it. Old Man Williams. What's up, Old Man Williams? Old Man Williams says that hi, everyone. I'm new to this sort of thing. Only had a piano since Christmas. Old Man Williams, welcome to the group. Say hello, everyone, to Old Man Williams. And anyone else who's new and just joined in for the first time, let us know. We'd love to hear your story and how you found us. Well, Lily May, Lynn Stewart, Sarah Pickles, Elta John, what's going on, everyone? Glad to see you. Lily May, hey. Hemang Chawla, that's a new one for me. Nice to see you. Thanks for joining. Hey, Jennifer. Hey, Saul. Pat Sir. Hey, Aaron. I like to shout you guys out. Chris Allen, what's going on? Brand new, just a week into your lessons. Super cool. Give it up for Chris Allen, everyone. What are you spending your time on? What have you been doing this last week? Hey, Jennifer, you're from Cleveland. I think I remember you from last time. I'm from Akron, Ohio. We're pretty close to each other. That's pretty cool. Go Browns, that's right. I love books to read. What's up? Hey, Aaron Auda is from Turkey. That's pretty cool. Hey, Uncle Rabbit, long time no see. Hey, Trevor Baines. Natalie, aloha. This is awesome. So again, as I'm going through here, I want to make sure you guys are writing comments about the entertainer. If you haven't started it yet, maybe you can just talk about what you have been working on this new year. Remember, last week we talked about practice goals for the new year. We can continue talking about that as well. But I want to try and focus in on the challenge that we just launched, specifically what we're seeing on screen here, which is the day 1 notation for the intermediate level entertainer. Franklin Gonzalez, how you doing? All right. Argentina in the house. What's up? Cool. All right, so Lynn Stewart says, I was hoping to have finished rookie entertainer in time to have a go at the intermediate level, but alas, no. But hey, the intermediate level will still be there. You know, that's a good point, Lynn. The good thing about this not being a Christmas song, for example, is that this stuff is timeless. You can play this stuff all year, and it still can be enjoyed to the fullest, right? So what I would recommend you do, and this goes for any rookie out there that is either still in the middle of the rookie level entertainer or maybe haven't started this at all yet, I'd recommend you go through the full rookie one first, and then when you're feeling comfortable with that, I would dig into the intermediate one. They'll surely still be there when you're ready. And then who knows, maybe next year we'll launch an advanced one as well, and this could be a fun annual tradition. We could do a little entertainer New Year every year. All right. I love books to read. Thank you very much. She says, I hope you feel better soon. Working while listening to the live chat. Roger that. That is cool. Thank you for tuning in. All right. Hey, you got a keyboard last December, Hamang. That's pretty nice. What kind of keyboard did you get? That old man Williams. Hey, Charles Smith. Hi, Diane. From the cold and rainy, I think that's the UK. The flag emoji is pretty small on my phone. Jennifer says she started Playground at the end of November. Very cool. That's another fresh one. So how do you love it so far, Jennifer? All right, Sarah's working on the Bumblebee Boogie. Looks pretty challenging. All right, well, it doesn't look like a ton of people so far are doing the entertainer. I see a comment here from Zippy Adam 1. Hey, Zippy Adam 1. What's the final BPM for the entertainer that we'll be playing? The sheet music for Rookie Heart is 150 BPM. That seems crazy fast. That's a great point, actually, and I'm glad you called that out, Zippy. So, excuse me. The version that we see in the song store, pardon me, let me catch my breath here. The version that we see in the song store is from a previous arrangement. When we reworked it to fit for the 30-day challenge experience, what we did was kind of, among other things, we shifted the feel of the beat. And so what you're seeing in the song store is like probably more than double what you're seeing in terms of the number value, the beats per minute. But what we have to keep in mind is in the new arrangement, the beat value changes. So I believe, because we're in cut common time here, that we're talking about kind of two different speeds, if that makes sense. So the final speed, I don't have the app in front of me, I just have this notation excerpt. But I want to say, let's see, I'm not going to guess. I want to say 70 BPM, and that might make sense because you're saying 150 BPM for Rookie Hard. And so, yeah, think about it as, 5 or 10 clicks slower than what you saw in the song store. Trevor Bain says, got through the intermediate lesson today, looking forward to the next one. Great to hear, Trevor. So yeah, we're going to be taking this incrementally, as we have been with the last few releases or challenges, whatever we want to call them. And one thing we've heard in terms of feedback from you all, and it hasn't necessarily been negative feedback or a negative experience, but some feedback we've heard is that you could use more time to go through some of the lesson material before being introduced with new lesson material in the following day and the following day, right? So we still love releasing stuff daily. We think there's some value to that. But what we've done here with this intermediate level entertainer challenge is we've kind of spread the content across more days. So in a sense, we're still going to be clocking in every day, but we're just going to be biting off a tiny bit less each day. And hopefully that makes it feel kind of a similar effect to what we heard from you guys, which allows you a little bit more time to take in the total content. So that's what we're going to try here. So stick with us here. We're going to spend a couple days on the right hand, switch gears to the left hand, and we're going to spend a really good amount of time taking our time putting the hands together. So I guess what I'd like to do now is just play through a little bit of what we see on screen here, and then I'll talk about it. And I'll keep checking in with the chat and make sure that I'm getting to any questions you guys may have. All right, so we kick things off with this. Let me know if you guys can hear the piano okay, by the way. We're going to skip this little section for now, but what's going to be there is... That's a little foreshadowing there. Okay, and then we go back down to the initial phrase. Then back up. So that's what we covered today. And there's one tip I actually want to point out that I didn't call out in the lesson, and that has to do with touch and phrasing, right? Now I know this group here, for those who are new, bear with us here. For those who have been attending these live streams for a while, you know that we've talked a lot about phrasing and expression and dynamics, right? One thing I want us to keep in mind here with this particular phrase, especially this part. is I want us to think about the volume of those notes, in particular the B when our thumb hits that B. The tendency, I think, is going to want to be to smash your thumb down on that B. Now, I'm exaggerating it here a bit just to prove the point and show you what I'm trying to show you. But it still stands. You've got this thing going on for a while with these fingers, no thumb, and then your thumb comes down on the lowest note of the phrase. If you're not thinking about it, you may accidentally play that pretty loud, and then the D that follows might accidentally be a bit lighter. I want to challenge you all, and this is of course once you've gotten comfortable enough with the notes and rhythms we see here. I want to challenge you all to try and play your thumb on the B lighter and your third finger on the D louder. That might sound like this instead. It's subtle, but hopefully our ears are gravitating towards that higher note, as opposed to this, which is what we don't want. Just something to keep in mind there. Okay, that's one tip I want to share. Now, let me get back into the chat here and check in with you guys. Jennifer says, my left and right hand hate playing together. Yeah, join the club. It's really the most humbling experience when you're working on each hand on its own, right? And you get each hand's part feeling 100%, and then you go to put them together thinking that's just the final step. It should be easy from here. Well, in a lot of ways, that's the hardest step, and that can be the step that takes the most amount of work and time and patience. So hang in there. A key to remember here is to slow things way down when you go hands together. All right, so if the left-hand part, and again, I'll give you a preview here of what's to come. Here's a bit of the left-hand part for the intermediate arrangement. That's going to be coming up in a few days. So if I got the right-hand part down, and I've got the left-hand part feeling down at that tempo, then by no means should I jump into hands together at that same tempo, okay? That's the point I'm trying to make. You got to jump the tempo way down, something like this. And it might even be like funny to you or obnoxious how slow it is. And that's okay. Because you got to practice this syncopation. Right, and then you got to practice when does the right hand come back in. There's all sorts of stuff to practice. Now, you don't have to do it that slow for very many times, of course, but jump in at a slow tempo, then speed things up gradually. By the time you're back to the tempo that you were playing each hand individually, you'll have practiced it several times, and it should be much more comfortable. So try that on for size next time you're jumping in hands together. All right, Hamang Chala, I hope I'm saying your name right. Got a touch-sensitive keyboard. That's important, especially when we're working on stuff like I just mentioned. Right, the touch and the velocity and the dynamics of your phrase. Good stuff. Michael Smith says, not doing too good. Bought the Lifetime app of Playground approximately 3 weeks ago, and it won't connect. Michael, that's awful news. I hope you reached out to support right when that happened. If not, I highly recommend you reach out to support@playgroundsessions.com, and they can walk you through connecting to any device. So please do reach out, Michael Smith. Charles Smith, I grew up in the same city as Scott Joplin. Not together, not that old. You're not that old, Charles. Man, can you imagine what it would have been like to go see something like that live as it was being developed? That would be pretty cool. Old Man Williams in the house doing the entertainer. Very cool. Okay, let me scroll down to the bottom here, check back in with you guys. Working on Shallow, Diane. That's cool. That's a great tune. An Annie's song. Nice. Just finished Rookie Entertainer. Very cool. Okay, great. Old Man Williams got a Kawhi. Bought Playground Sessions Lifetime membership. Congratulations, my friend. really struggling with both hands. Yeah, I'm going to reiterate it here at the risk of sounding like a broken record, because it is super, super important to go slower than you think. It's easy to hear, you hear it all the time, oh, slow down, oh, a little slower, and it's easy for that to kind of gloss over. But what's maybe more resonant is to say, go slower than you think you should, okay? That's how slow we want to go. Just try it, you know, what do you have to lose? It doesn't mean that you're bad at piano or that you're not making progress or anything like that. It's a necessary step towards your eventual progress with a song or whatever your goal is to sometimes slow things down, then speed them back up. And that could not be more true when it comes time to put hands together, when you've been working on individual hand parts, okay? So I get, you know, it sounds like a simple answer, but again, it's really, really true. My best tip is to slow things down and to isolate the problem spots. Let's say we were working on what we see here above in the notation. And let's say I'm playing through everything okay to start. This part feels good. Now let's say right here, I kept messing up and I kept doing this instead. Okay? Oops, I messed that part up. Let me go back and start again. All right, so then you go all the way back to the beginning. Whoops, all right, gotta go back to the beginning again. I think you see the point I'm trying to make. If you know where there's a specific spot that needs some specific extra attention, let's say, then go ahead and give it to that spot and strip away the extra stuff. In other words, just focus in on those three notes. What are they again? Oh yeah, it's B, D, C. Okay, and then do that a few times. Then I like to say zoom back out, okay? So from there, don't just jump back to the beginning. Zoom out a little more and put it into context, maybe something like this. Okay, got it. Now again, repetition is also key. All right, again. Right? And then eventually we're going to zoom out even further and then practice it all together. Hopefully by now, this part then becomes easy. So that's just a little kind of snapshot window into, you know, a quick version, of course, of what it could look like to work something out. And that goes especially for hands together as well. You've got your right hand, you got your left hand, you put them together, and maybe in measure 3 or 4, something's very challenging. Work that out on its own first, then put it back into the context of the larger piece. Give that a shot. Trevor Baines, good question. Trevor Baines says, I notice you have not incorporated any of the original intro. Any particular reason for that? Yeah, nothing particularly against the intro by any means, but in general we were trying to keep the amount of measures that we were then going to go teach you guys to a limited number. And that was because simply, you know, we've just gotten off of a couple of longer learning challenges in 2020 that actually went really well. You guys all did a great job, and I think everyone grew a lot as pianists. We're going to keep the momentum going with that stuff, but what we also want to avoid is burnout on either end, right? We don't want to burn out on our end trying to do too much of that stuff back to back, but more importantly, we don't want to throw too much at our students and overwhelm or risk, you know, stuff just being missed. And so this was an attempt to teach a song excerpt that felt like a complete section of the song without having to go into a super long, minutes-long song, you know, 50, 60, 70, 80 measures of music. Because again, you know, we just did Prelude in C. Before that, we did You Raise Me Up. Before that, we did, you know, there's just a ton of stuff going on. So part of this was to test, let's do a bit of a smaller section. And so, long answer short here, in the arranging process, we chose to trim some of the, arguably the unnecessary parts, right? We wanted to give you the meat and potatoes of the piece. I do believe, though, that the full song store version may have the intro. All right, let me check back in the chat here. Edwin Walker said, enjoyed it, but had to go. Take care. Peace out, Edwin. Hopefully we see you next time. Lily May says, I appreciate all the work that goes into these arrangements. Just going by ear, the rookie arrangement sounds more appealing to me so far. With some songs, it's the opposite. It just depends. That's a really interesting point, Lily May. It's definitely not the case that, you know, the harder you go in difficulty level, the better the arrangement is, quote unquote. And it's an interesting point to call out the differences between the rookie level and this intermediate level. One difference that I can speak to, one that I notice, is the rhythmic nature. Okay, now in the rookie level, it's single notes. In the intermediate level, there's chords. But rhythmically speaking, I believe it's about the same, and that's because the left hand is not doing any of the kind of traditional advanced style, which could be known as stride piano. So typically, you might hear it as something like this. This kind of left-hand pattern, right? I'm just kind of winging it. Anyways, but the difference between the rookie and the intermediate are that rhythmically speaking, they're still pretty open and not as rhythmic as that. So in the intermediate, we have something more like this. Well, I'm also swinging it. Let me stop doing that here. Now, of course, there's, as you know, Lily May, since you also like to do arrangements of your own, there's always several ways that you can arrange a piece, and there's not one right or wrong sort of way to do it. And so, of course, you can think to yourself, well, let's add rhythm to that left-hand part. That's pretty cool, but it adds another layer of difficulty, okay? You could also add rhythm in a different way. Kind of winging that one too there, but based off of the inversions that we're using in the intermediate level one. My point is, you know, again, speaking to the goal of striking a balance, not sending you guys too much and that's too hard, but also still challenging you and motivating you. This is kind of where we shook out with the arrangement. Lily May, I'd love to see you tackle something that is on the more advanced side, because that stride piano stuff is super fun to work on, and I know that you'd be ready to tackle some of that stuff. Okay, yep. Hey, Jennifer, thanks. Jennifer confirms that the Song Store version does have the intro, Trevor. Jennifer says she's still working on the Bach challenge. It's a long one. Yeah, that's one of my points, Jennifer. I'm glad to hear you say that. I don't want anyone to feel like they're too late or too slow on the Bach challenge, because that's definitely not the case. Just because we have started kind of releasing new lessons on a new song. You know, when we have day 10, day 20, day 30, and then finally that's the last day of lessons, that doesn't mean you should have the song perfected. I hope everyone knows that. That means that's the last lesson from us. But please continue on at your own pace. So I love to hear that you're still motivated to keep working on it, Jennifer, even though we've stopped releasing the daily lessons for it. Very cool. Cleveland in the house. What's up, Barbara? You're from Cleveland too, Barbara? Jennifer's from Cleveland. I'm from Akron. If we got enough Northeast Ohio people in the house, once COVID's over, we're going to have a Playground Sessions meet and greet. We're going to have a playground recital or something. That'd be pretty fun, right? Yeah, Elta, you got a good point. I was just about to say that I am getting pretty, my voice is getting pretty rough here. So I might play a little bit of music for you guys and just call it a little bit early tonight. I apologize for that, but I didn't want to cancel. I wanted to check in with you guys and keep the energy going on the entertainer here. So thanks for bearing with me, everyone. And I am going to, oh, hey, Frank L. on the way out. Frank L. says, my arrangement of Girl from Ipanema was great. Thanks, Frank. That was a couple years ago I did that one. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'm going to play a little bit here. I'm going to play some entertainer. No, I'm going to play some Girl from Ipanema, actually, Frank. I'm going to mess around with that for a couple minutes here, and then I'm going to say goodbye to you guys. Hopefully by next week I'll be feeling better, and we'll be able to do a bit longer of a lesson, and we'll do some pop quiz questions as well to give you guys a chance to earn some free song credits. All right, let's do this. All right, well, that was some thoughts on Girl from Ipanema. Thanks again, everyone. I'll see you next week.